The relationship between Turkey and France in regards to the Sanjak situation became increasingly complicated towards the end of the 1930s. From January 1937 to May 1938, France and Turkey reached at least 4 different settlements of the Alexandretta dispute in an attempt to appease escalating Kemalist claims. However, none of these agreements were executed because France reluctantly and quietly gave in to Turkey's pressure for additional demands. This was because France sought Turkey's support to join its anti-fascist coalition in Europe, an increasingly crucial priority for France. Turkey used a variety of means to achieve the end it desired, the independent Sanjak joining Turkey to become a province. Turkey used the threat of the growing fascist movement in Europe to pressure France into giving up the Sanjak, of which the majority of commentators have disapproved because of the blatant disregard for both international law and the desires of those in the Sanjak. From exaggerating the number of Turks living in the Sanjak to claim they made up its majority, to exploiting France's political and military weaknesses, Turkey demanded the Sanjak's independence as the first step before then annexing it as a Turkish province. In the context of the period, little else could be done to stop Turkey, as both France and the League of Nations were distracted by important problems elsewhere in the days leading up before World War II. Turkey took advantage of the situation of the Sanjak. Towards the end of 1937, Turkey denounced the Convention of Friendship and Good Neighborly Relations of 1926 between Turkey and France. While Turkey intended this public display of disgust to show its dissatisfaction in regards to the Sanjak's official status, the convention had long lost significance to both Turkey and France. The election in the summer of 1938 revealed a drastic change to the status quo of the Sanjak's official status. While the local population tried to settle the differences amongst themselves, foreign interference played a major role. Both France and Turkey were embarrassed by an election whose registration and voting procedures had been manipulated to create a pro-Kemalist majority. Dismissing the results of this local assembly election caused the French government to lose what remained of its credibility. In July, 2,500 Turkish soldiers crossed the border and patrolled the Sanjak in tandem with 2,500 French troops. On the 9th of September, the local assembly convened and elected 2 former members of the Turkish parliament as president and speaker of the assembly. 2 weeks later, the autonomous Sanjak declared itself the sovereign Republic of Hatay, honoring local Turkish claims to Hittite ancestry. In addition to adopting Kemalist ideology, within 6 months, Hatay adopted Turkish penal and civil codes, Turkish currency, and Turkish bureaucratic procedures. As the president of Hatay stated, "If formerly I am the chief of the state of Hatay, in reality I am only an official entrusted with the duty of applying and executing the wishes of the immortal chief Ataturk." Less than a year later, Hatay's official status as an independent sovereign state changed again. On the 23rd of June, 1939, France and Turkey made an agreement. France legally ceded Hatay to Turkey, thus resolving the last disputed section of the border under its preamble and Article 7, in exchange for pledging allegiance to France's war against fascism in Europe. This cession also violated the 1923 Treaty of Lausanne. The French also agreed that they would evacuate Hatay within the next month. Hatay's newly established assembly adjourned the following week as Hatay became the 63rd Turkish province.